In the wake of the Supreme Court Dobbs decision overturning Roe v. Wade, there's some concern now that federal protections for same-sex marriage could be challenged next. Mr. Burns, would you support federal legislation guaranteeing protections for same-sex marriage? And if not, how should the country handle a situation in which marriage could be recognized in one state but then not another?
Well, so personally, I think no government should be recognizing marriage. I don't believe that the government should regulate marriage at all, both federal and local. That's my personal belief.
Representative Kuster, do you think this is something Congress even needs to weigh in on? And then beyond abortion rights, are there other protections you think are now necessary in the wake of the Dobbs decision?
Absolutely, and I know my opponent is opposed to marriage equality. I am a strong proponent of marriage equality. I think that I believe that people should love the one they love, and marriage is a commitment that's very important. I've been married myself for 36 years, and it's the best decision I ever made, and I want to support those who make that decision, make that commitment to children, to families. I believe in it, and I believe very strongly. So I voted for the Marriage Equality Act. I hope that Congress will pass it. I think it'd be a terrible thing, and I know there are many people watching tonight who have loved ones, maybe a member of their family or a close personal friend, who relies on marriage equality for their security and to care for their family. So I feel very, very strongly about this one, and again, it's a big difference between us.
Mr. Burns, you were invoked. 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. I don't believe that the government should be involved in marriage. I don't think that it should be a business agreement. I don't think that we should have tax exemptions for people getting married or not, incentives to get married or not. That's what I don't believe in. That's not being against marriage equality. That's being against the government getting involved in people's lives.
Your position is opposed to marriage equality.
That's being against people getting involved in people's personal lives. I mean, the thing is this is just more fear-mongering to take away the attention from inflation, really. I mean, this is all they have is to talk about social issues, but not talking about heating costs. We're not talking about inflation. We're not talking about 87,000 IRS agents that are going to come storming down your door to audit you and possibly shoot you. You want to talk about social issues and scare people into thinking that all of a sudden, you know, they're going to be raped and forced to carry a child, that their marriages are going to be broken up by the federal government, and you know that's not going to happen. You know this is all about fear, and Halloween is over.
30 seconds, Congresswoman Kuster, and we'll move on.
I stand by, I believe in marriage equality, and I think you've gone too far down the Fox rabbit hole on that one.